6:30 here, November 14th. Truck, oh my God, I gotta do a video on, let's see, I think this is Renee's. What do we got here? I can only see my hat. We're seeing Hector. There's a lot of work in there too. He's up there. We're doing leaves today. Today should be the last day, November 14th. Last day of leaves. We'll get everything else in the fall. I'm done. I'm extremely frustrated with Ford. So, which actually, let me go in. Let me stop the truck. We're gonna go into settings. I need to be stopped. Advanced vehicle. How do I? Nobody's coming. I forget how to do this. Let's display. Oil life. Just got an oil change. And that's what we're doing. They didn't reset it. DEF, part of the Ford diesel works, should have been topped off. We're at a quarter. So needless to say, you know, I got back, I looked at the oil. So basically I was at my day job. My father picked this up for me. So I didn't get to really inspect it. Not blaming him at all. He's tremendous help for me. But you get home to, or you think your car has 0 or 20% oil life. Like, what? After just paying, I just dropped close to $2,000 on this truck. $2,000, a little less. What did we have done? Well, we had the diesel works done. They mounted balanced snow tires. I figured while it's mid-November, let's just do that so I don't have to take this truck out of service again. We got Tri-County over here. What are these guys doing? I don't know what they're doing. Okay, we did that. Rear brakes were so bad. Needed to be done. That's a very expensive service. If you're wondering, just rear pads, rotors, whatever, set of rears for Super Duty, you're looking at, honestly, close to $1,000. I think it was like $900 for that. I also had the rear diff serviced. I had the front diff serviced. Those are about $200 a piece to do, so that's like another $400. So you're at like $900 for the brakes, then $400. You're at $1,300 there. The diesel works is another $200. That's $1,500. Before the mountain balance snow tires are another $100 or $150 or whatever it is. Okay. They changed out, which they didn't need to do this at all, and it's fine. I'm not even mad at them doing extra things because it kind of helps me out and it's one less thing. But like air filter, like, oh, your air filter's dirty. All right, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. No big deal. That's 2 seconds. They change it out. That's $79 for them to put an air filter simply in. So now you're up to $1,700. And then I had a front hub that was stuck shut. Not like the hub itself, but the locking. You know how there's the manual lock. So like this is automatic 4-wheel drive, but there is a manual override, and you got to keep the hubs free. And just over time, dirt and grime gets in them. So I would still have 4-wheel drive, but it's a backup if the vacuum lines in the auto 4-wheel drive were to fail for whatever reason. So that's the backup is you know, the hubs in the front. So one of them was stuck on, it's either auto or the other one is just like full lock. So it's stuck in auto, which is good to be stuck in auto, but that doesn't help you if the auto 4x4 goes out. And what I mean auto 4x4, I don't mean auto, like you have to manually shift this 4-wheel drive knob. It's not like an F-150, or I know the GM products have like auto 4x4 where you just set it in auto and it does that for you. It's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the not getting out of the truck to shift it into 4-wheel drive. Like we don't have four on the floor. I'm not talking about the big Alpine operation there. I'm not talking about stick transmission either. I'm not talking about the old school 4 on the floor manual transmissions. I'm talking about like a shift to 4x4 on the floor. Sometimes there's a manual shifter. So anyway, all that being said, that's $1,800 plus tax or whatever. You're at over $2,000. Then I had a couple $100 in Ford Pass points. Whatever, but I wasn't happy with the service. Normally, they've, in my opinion, they've really gone downhill. And I think part of it is I'm upset about the whole escape thing, which is unrelated to this. But then it's just like, if you have a vehicle, if you have somebody who's having a vehicle with you guys for 2.5 months now, that's what we're at. We're at 2.5 months. It's mid-November. Bought it in early September. You would think if they're bringing another vehicle in, especially a diesel truck, which is for a couple grand in work, you would think that truck would leave flawlessly. And then I'm not mentioning, they sprayed the battery terminals and whatever, which is nice, but they sprayed the shit out of them. So all that lubricant that they spray is all down the side of the fender of the truck. Then you have just, I was talking to the service manager about this too. And I'm just like, and that's not even to mention the little things that I'd never mention because it's not worth it. Every time I go in there, I'm missing all 4 valve stem caps. Those are, 99 cents. But, when you have to constantly, this is a truck that goes, not off-road, but it's used in, sometimes off-road environments. Winter's coming up, that's the last thing you want to have to deal with is that. So all that to say, obviously, I meant to put my dog carrier, my dog thing in here because I'm going to be right where he is, but maybe I'll come back for that. But anyway, the brakes feel a lot better, night and day difference, especially when you're trailering, like the little single axle trailer. It doesn't have brakes. Now we only have a push blower on there. That thing weighs a few hundred pounds. It's like 200 pounds. So it's like no weight. The trailer itself, as it's configured right now, is set up and it weighs a little bit more than 1,000 pounds. It might be like 1,200 pounds. It's a heavier single axle, in case you were wondering. The original empty weight on it was just under 1,000, but there's wood sides, there's a tongue box, there's a spare tire, there's a spare tire mount, there's stuff in the tongue box, there's a lot of hardware for tie downs, which believe it or not was like 40 pounds of hardware, which is crazy. So a lot of stuff going on. But anyway, I was really not happy with that service, despite especially paying the amount of money you're paying, and to add insult into injury, they've had one of my other vehicles for over 2 months now. So all that being said, hopefully there is an update. They finally they told me a while ago that they would have a field service tech out earlier in the week. It's been radio silent. All of a sudden I hear that the field service tech is here today as soon as I complain. So go figure. As soon as I complain about the truck, they're like, well, the good news is they're here to look at your Escape today, because I guess the dealership can't figure out what's going on with it. But more info to come. I think either way I might lemon it, but anyway, a lot of always a mess, always something, right? Always something. But anyway, coming into property now. Wow, they have must have the road closed up there or something. Hopefully I brought enough. I brought fuel with me today, but this property wanted to clean up. All of my properties have just had one. I've had multiple cleanup, like they've had a cleanup before, and then I'm coming back for round twos like this week. So like there's one property after this where majority of the property's done. It's just like one or two things, but this one has not been touched, and I was going to do this one on Monday, but I kind of said, I'll give it a few more days, and I'll give it a few more days for leaves to fall and stuff, because they have not been a client with me, so they don't really know how I operate in terms of fall, whatever. I obviously explained it to them, but explanation versus reality are two different things. Like this setup, beautiful freaking setup. Oh, the guys live there. So nice setup though. So, but they're like in the woods here. Everything's just getting blown into the woods. Hopefully it's not too bad. Their driveway actually looks good. I thought their driveway was going to be caked with leaves. Look at this. Stop the commie, bitch. Freaking love it. Yo, my man loves Trump over here. Look at my man over here. I love it. I love it. See if I could back up this. Talk about a steep driveway. I don't know if you can see how steep that is. Close to this tree here. All right, let's see how this looks. Property actually, so a lot of leaves over there, but the property's pretty small, so I will blow off the very end for them. But let me get to work. Peace. All right, this leaf cleanup was done. See, we got it cleaned up here, cleaned up the whole backyard, the driveway, and about 4 feet on each side. This is a crazy slope going down. Also over there by the garbage cans and the basketball hoop where the extends, but you can see where it's wet. That was all caked in leaves, caked. Look at that, look at that. Trump country, baby. But done with this one for the year. So it is. I do not know what happened to my video. But we got on site on that one. Let me just show you leaf cleanup money right here. That cleanup was $3.99, $400, okay? Me, got on site at 1:45. It is 2:25, and we're zooming out. All I used, I backed the trailer with the push blower, whatever. I backed it all the way up. I just used the 90-10. Just used the 90-10. That blower is, I don't know, $629, something like that. $600. Let's say $650 tax, whatever. You get it on sale, $699, whatever, $599 maybe. Whatever the blower is. Let's say it's a blower for the sake of argument, $600. I just made $400 in 30 minutes. Okay? By the time I got set up, I had to put fuel in the blower. 30 minutes, $400. That's $800 an hour. Now, you're not making that all the time. You need equipment to do that. But you need $600 to make $800 an hour in that scenario. Okay? Is that happening all the time? No, I repeat, it is not. But that just goes to show you what you can do with not a lot of capital. Okay? You don't need beautiful Peterbilt coming down. You don't need a Peterbilt to make crazy money. You don't need it's like we got construction or something up ahead. You don't need a 550 with a big debris loader. You don't need this 350. Honestly, you see that Subaru out back in front of us? You, in theory, can throw your $600 blower in the trunk of that Outback or Civic or whatever and make your money. This is actually cool. They're replacing all of these poles. So that's good. But you could, like, in theory, yes, you know, you probably want to have some more equipment, but I mean, the reality is you could have done that. You could have done that. Nobody would have batted an eyelash. Especially some of these properties. I mean, you know, granted they saw me with a truck, but like, you know, so you look more professional with a truck, obviously. But when you're first starting out, hey, especially the properties that are off the road, they don't see what you pull up in. You know, they don't see that you have a nice, clean diesel F350 that you just spent $2,000 on the morning before. But that's why these prices are the way they are. That's why it costs, it's the cost of doing business. The cost, the insurance, the upkeep, just the upkeep on the truck. I dropped $2,000 in it today. Okay, I know I've been venting about that. I'm not happy about it. But also, I can make the equivalent of $800 an hour. Now, this next property, I kind of give this guy a hell of a deal for fall cleanup. He pays $699, so $700. Property's a couple acres. Let me preface this. A couple acres of where I am cleaning up. He's got a shit ton of woods that obviously we don't, but we just blow everything back into the woods, okay? So let's say it's $600. Now, I could have waited and done this all in one day, and I was there last time. I was there probably an hour. I was there longer than I wanted to be. I was probably there close to an hour and a half. And it's probably going to be there an hour today. These are all probablys. You know, nothing's set in stone. Nothing is 100%. I'm really mad I left my dog bed. I don't think he's going to want to jump up in this truck, but we're going to try and get him right from, because we're going to be right here. But in terms of, you know, he'll be done. Honestly, I'm happy that it's going to be 2:30. We're going to be on site at 2:30 today. a couple minutes after, but we'll just call it what it is. On site at 2:30. That's amazing. Okay, I'll have an hour. I'll have two. What are we doing here? If I want to have 2 hours to do it, I have 2 hours of daylight. Do I need it? Absolutely not. Especially because we got to clean up the spring cleanup for this one in the spring, so I don't need to worry about. I don't need to worry about it getting perfect, and I found that's the real benefit. Yes, you're kind of starting spring off by working for free in a sense, especially because by the time the grass starts growing, as if they're not I'm sure they want mulch and stuff, but like people who don't want mulch, you're doing that for free, so to speak. But do it at the end of March. I mean, it depends on your winter, but hey, do it at the end of March. March, the second month, you know you're going to start off, whatever. It's kind of good to just get back in the feel of things. Yes, paychecks aren't coming in right away. I know you're living lean, so to speak, but for March, but you know, do what you got to do, power through. And by doing that, you have a client for the 2025 lawn care season. All right, that's the main thing. Okay, you're doing the majority of the work now. Honestly, absolute worst case, you're putting in a half hour, 45 minutes of work for quote unquote free. But remember, they paid you last season. They paid you for your work. You're cashing in, and you're guaranteeing a season full of work, or a season full of maintenance for the season to come. So this guy, he's like I said, he's done. We're chilling. We did his whole front. We did some of the back. We got to get the rest of the backyard around the pool, in the back garden beds, that kind of deal. Honestly, this is going to be another 90-10 most of the time. I am going to throw some fuel in the PB18 here, which is the Billy Go push blower, 18 horse. And we'll do some more with that. Yeah, look at that. We're in good shape there. While I'm here, I'll throw the Billy Goat up and down the front a tiny bit, but there's really no need to. We're done here. We're done. We just gotta tweak the backyard. That's all you can do. I will say, I know it was showing 50 before. It's really high 40s. We're rocking shorts. We're working hard, but it is on the chilly side today. But power through. You're gonna get a quick drink of water. All right, on site at 2:30. Peace. All right, a little before 4, 3:57. You can tell, I don't know if it actually looks brighter on camera, but it's 3:57 and it's really getting dark. Finished up in short sleeves, powered through, last cleanup done. If I get any calls, you know, it's possible I take them if I have the time, but as for my just regular routine maintenance customers who opted for fall cleanup this year, they are done. All around here on the crest of a hill, not a good spot to be, but see, here comes a car. You got to be careful with stuff like that. Go slow. Our lights were on; they just flicked off. But anyway, I'm really, I'm just gonna tack this onto the existing video. But I'm really happy that leaf cleanup is in the books. I got to get on my snow contracts and get to staking and all that fun stuff. But as far as leaves, I'm done. I mean, I'm gonna touch up my own property over the weekend, possibly. You know, we'll see what we'll see what's in store for my own property, but leaf cleanups are done. Great. I'm in a great position because it's November 14th today, so midway through November, leaf cleanups are done. That's where you want to be if you're in the Northeast. Or about for reference point, you know, we were actually just talking about, there was a November, my father's birthday's tomorrow, and I remember 2018, there was a November 15th snowstorm, which brought like 8 inches of snow, which is, you know, totally normal in this area, but they weren't even predicting, they were predicting like rain showers, and it just shut everybody down. Nobody was prepared at all. So that was a crazy storm. So we got to get ready. I have the York rake, the landscape rake in front of the plow right now. I want to get that on the tractor, get some leaves pushed back in the woods for sure, and then so that, get that done, and then we'll at some point we'll test fit the plow and stuff on the truck, and go from there. But I am at my dog's daycare picking them up, and I hope everybody has a great rest of your day. Peace.